Alright guys, back here with another video, and this time we're going to be going over a interesting build. It's funny because Cali Effect, I just watched a video from him today, and he had mentioned this, and I was already working on it, which is really cool, because I talked to one of our teammates, our newest teammate, Marquise, from Locals. He was playing p.u.n.k, and with a lot of hand traps and stuff like that, but I wanted to try Kashtira if I could get a hold of myself some Fenrir's. I did my best to get them at Locals. I pulled one. Shout out to Chris for getting me one. I really needed that one, and then got my playset, so it's really nice. And we'll go ahead and go into it. Before we do, I want to make sure that you guys are smashing the like button, subscribing if you haven't already. Check out the links in the description to our Discord. Join that. We have a welcoming community. If you guys want to hang out with us and play games, or join us for just anything, we have lots of different tabs. You can check that out. We also have our Shopify link in the description. We got the new Yugi Vuitton line from our Airfare Gaming Shopify. It's going to be awesome merch in there. We also have Hero merch, Tier Limit merch, Shadal merch, Cyber Dragon merch. So if you like all that type of stuff, make sure you check out the description. And use Airfare 10 at checkout to save yourself 10% on your entire order while that code is still live. So we can get into our Cashier engine. We got 3 Fenrir. This card searches for any Cashier monster. We are playing 2 different monsters right now. Until I think the next set we get another one, but I'm not too familiar with the new stuff. I just want to try to focus on what we have at the moment and try not to think ahead too much. But this guy can banish a card on the field face down when your opponent activates a monster effect at resolution. Banishes it face down, really crazy. Especially when everybody activates monster effects on your opponent's turn now. You have 3 Unicorn. This card is a 2500 free special summon as well, just like Fenrir, and adds a Cashier spell. And when your opponent activates a monster effect, you get to look at their opponent's extra deck and banish 1 card face down. And a lot of people are playing 1 Kalos now, so this card is really, really powerful. You got 1 Birth. This is a continuous spell that this card searches, and allows you to normal summon Fenrir without tributing, which is really cool. So you start with this one, grab this, and then you can normal summon Fenrir, and then you can make a rank 7, which we'll get in that in a few moments. But this card also lets you Monster Reborn back 1 Cashier from your graveyard once per turn. So it brings back Fenrir, so you can allow it to activate its effect to add. And that is specifically important because you don't want to use your normal summon to add effects. So we'll get in that in a moment. So we got 3 E-Telly to start our package for the punks. 2 Xiamen, and then we have 1 Sharakusai. This card adds pay 6, add a monster. This card says pay 6 synchro on your opponent's turn, or pay 600 fuse using cards in your hand and field. And then we'll get into the targets for those during the extra deck part. Targets you can add off of the Xiamen as well. 1 Foxy Tomb and 1 Deer Note. This card is just really powerful. Lets you Monster Reborn 1 whenever synchro summoned or link summoned off with. And it's really nice. Some really straightforward plays that we'll go into later. And another part, the last part of the engine is 1 Ghost Ogre, because your synchro can grab any Psychic level 3 from your deck. This is really, really nice, especially against Gigantic. So if you go first against Sprite and you know you're playing Sprite, or you're playing against a deck like Flunder, you can add this to your hand, and whenever they activate their field spell, you get to pop it. It's pretty nice. Then we got 3 copies of Water Enchantress. Yeah, we're going real spicy here. We got 3 Right, 1 Fateful, 1 Draco Back, 1 copy of 1 Griffin Rider, and 1 Illegal Knight. So for this package, you could probably trim down on Right, maybe down to 2, but it's no really point. You want to see this card. You want to see this card. You basically want to be able to set up Griffin Rider as a negate. It's really strong, and these are also level 7, so keep that in mind. That's important, and they are different attributes. So. Super Poly is really hard for your opponent to activate against this deck because you have so many different attributes and types. And then to the generic cards, this is where the flexibility can come in. If you want to play the 1 called by, you can. 3 Pot of Prosperity. This card is really powerful in this deck specifically because you have so many engines and you want to activate this first before you really do anything else on your turn 1. Going first specifically because you're not worried about damage. This card helps you dig for your pieces. You want to get your Kashtira cards going first, so this card is really important in my opinion. Then you got 2 Triple Tack. I think this is a format-specific card. Even if you activate this and activate like something response, and then you activate Triple T, it's just like the Cashier cards and Triple T both help you disrupt your opponent. So if your opponent activates monster effect in response to you activating anything, you just get to rip a card from their hand, can't really beat it. And you can steal something as well. But if you activate a pot, you can't draw 2. Got 3 droplets. So this is where the flex part's in. 3 imperm and 2 ghost spell. You want this to be in the deck specific because it's a level 3-star tuner. I was thinking DD Crow because it's a little more versatile in terms of like when you can activate it, because you can activate it during middle of chains, like the resolution of a chain to like stop something specific. But this card specifically makes it really, really easy to make 10-star synchros, and just synchros in general. So that's one reason why I wanted to play it. Because the more tuners you have, the better, because the extra deck is specifically tailored to do so. So actually, this is where I think there's a lot of flexibility, but not as much as you would think. One, Diablosis, the old Prize card reprint, the Mind Hacker. This card lets you detach 1 and look at your opponent's extra and banish 1 card face down. That's really powerful. It's just like if Unicorn, if they would activate something in return. So if they do activate something before you make this, that's really strong. And also, if you make this first and before you do anything else, you know exactly what they're playing, so you know what interrupts to make. So sometimes making a rank 8 is more powerful than making the synchro 11 on your opponent's turn, which we'll get into that in a second. If you want, I can go ahead and do a combo at the end, which I probably will. I'll just show you. But this card also has other effects if they activate stuff. Why they have like if you banish something, you get trigger. Let's see, just read it directly. At the end of a battle phase, this card destroys a monster by battle. You can target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it face down. If your opponent if a card your opponent owns and possesses is banished face down while you control this card, which it will be, you can banish the cards from the top of your opponent's deck face down equal to the number of face down banished cards. So this card just helps disrupt your opponent's deck and the graveyard. Got 1 Flare Metal. This card just an option just in case, like if you feel like their extra deck's not important, like if you know they're playing Flutter, you just make this and in defense mode, and every time they activate something for rest of turn, they get burnt. Really powerful in time, and they can't show up by card effects, so they can't Lightning Storm it or anything like that. They got 1 number 90 for Monster Fate negation and 1 number 38 Hope Harbinger for spell like control. So your opponent activates Miss of Mind, you can just waste it up on it, stuff like that. Just versatility for the rank 8s. I wanted to at least have option between both. Then you have 1 copy of Zeus because you're playing those rank 7 and rank 8s because they're pretty easy to make. For the Punk package, you got the 1 Punk Fusion just in case it's necessary, because sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. 1 Jam Dragon Drive. This card allows you to add the 3-star tuner, and if you add Sharakusa, you can go on to the Punk Synchro 11 on your opponent's turn and bounce 3 cards in most cases. You've added Ogre's a 4th card. It's really strong. You can also do this on your turn to bounce it during your turn to push for game. But this is really strong. You can also make Psychic Unpunisher for your other 11. This is mainly your Psychic package for synchros. And then you have the Fusion for the Punk as well. But yeah, this card just unaffected by your opponent's effects whenever the difference in life points. And then you get to gain a bunch of attacks. So, and then you can also remove stuff, but that doesn't come up as often. For your Synchro 8, that's not the Punk one. I have another time card. I've seen a lot of people play the Punk deck, and then you'll pay 6, and you're getting a time, and then they'll think they just lose because you paid 6 for one of your effects. But you can make Scarlight to make it to where you blow up your board, and they burn them for 500 damage for each special summon monster that's destroyed. Really strong. Because you can create your board and do that. Then you got 1 Chinging and 1 Baron. These are really easy to make because you have level 7 monsters that are free bodies, and you have the level 3 tuners that are just easy to bring out. Then for the links, this is the hard part. You got 1 Iria, the 1 Dark, and 1 Awesome. You have triple T in the deck, and you steal monsters. You have Earth in the form of Ghost Spell. You have the Illegal Knights of Dark. You also have Water in the form of Water Enchantress. But if you steal like your opponent's Rokalos, you need something to link off. And then you can bring it back from the grave, which is crazy. Bring back Colada Heart, and then bring back someone else's Fenrir, and then you can add a monster from your own deck with the Fenrir. You can do a lot with these. But so this is where there's lots of flexibility in this current list. Another card that I was testing with, but a lot of times I drew it with Prosperity, so I took it out. One Sacred Sword of 7 stars. Feel free to test this as a one-of if you want, because you get the free card of Fenrir, and then you can banish it and draw 2. You can play Cherubini, because you got level 3s with the punks, and then you can send your Enchantress. It's an option. I don't think it's really necessary because we're not playing PK cards. Then you have this as an option because you're playing the Brave Engine 3-star tuners. Sometimes this is nice to out like things that can't be destroyed by card effects, or you don't want to destroy them and put them back in an extra deck. I usually do play it when I'm playing the Rose Dragon. Then if you play Gamma, you most definitely want to play this card, Omega. So because if they activate something on your standby phase, and you Gamma them, you want to be able to make this so you can clear your board, so that you can summon your Fenrir and you can summon your other Kashtira unicorn. And then you have like generic links you can play. These are just really like easy to make. 3D monster, different names, and it can't be destroyed by card effects or targeted with card effects if you make it with any of your big monsters, which is primarily most of your deck's engine. And Underworld Goddess to out like crazy things. And you can also play Warlord, Access Code Talker, Selene with Magician Souls. So feel free to take that how you will. But a lot of times this is what your hands look like. I'll just got an easy hand. Like, it sounds silly how consistent this is, but there's so many 3-ofs. And so, like, just to say you open up this and you have like random cards in your hand. Pot. We'll grab. It really don't matter which other card in your hand. Fenrir. Let's just say that this is your hand going first. There's a whole bunch of 3-ofs in your deck, so you have the ability to do a lot with this hand. Just remember that you can't activate normal summon effects, so if you normal summon Fenrir during the middle of this play, you cannot activate his effect. So, let's go and get into it. So we're going to activate Pot. If you're going first, you're just going to banish cards you know you're not playing in that matchup. Especially if you already know what they're playing, and this is not time. We're going to banish this. We're going to banish. If you're going first, in most cases, you probably won't need Iria or Dark. You want to keep at least one link to climb with. In this hand, I don't think you need to play the Carp, but it really just depends. I need to test more with this. You're not going to play the Zeus, so that's another card, and I don't know what they're playing, so I'm probably not gonna make this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're gonna look at the top 5. So it's gonna give a good shuffle. You want to see what you get off the top 6 with Prosperity before you start searching. Sounds silly, but it's your best option, because if you see a card you like, you just need to see what you got first. So let's go ahead and get it. You could activate this later in the combo too, so it's not like you have to rush. And you can thin your deck first. Let's go Imperm, Droplet, Bell, Xiamen, Birth, and in this case you already have Cashiers, so you don't. That's obviously not a target. You have E-Telly. Probably can just grab Bell as a hand trap, which is really nice. Their protection from like other crows and stuff like that. Not really that important. And then let's see here. We're going to special summon, because this is the first play you always want to make. And you're going to grab that Birth that we were just looking at. And you're going to activate it. You place it on the field. Let's play around our Make Knights. Just kidding. But let's see here. And then, since we have not done anything yet, we're going to be right. We'll summon a token. And we're going to activate the Faithful Adventure here. And we're going to get this to our hand in a second, and this in the hand in a second. So let's go ahead and put that there for a moment. So right goes the Grave. We'll skip on steps, but we'll activate Tilly. Just so you can see what's going on here. Then we'll go and add this because of that. And then here's where it gets kind of tricky. You want to go ahead and activate Faithful Adventure. And then we're going to grab this. And this is going to get discarded and you bring this back. Nice hollow reprint. So now you got the protection. You have to kind of be careful because now you have the protection, but we'll activate this and pay 6. It's a pretty cool play here because we're going to be able to get that Fender out from the grave with the birth. So we can activate this, discarding Fender, because if you normal summon it, then you won't get this effect. But so, and you're going to get a monster back anyway. So we're going to special summon out the Deer Note. And we'll go here. We'll synchro summon into p.u.n.k. And I'll probably put this on the top. Put that on the top. And we'll get to pay 6. Now, I will say that in this case, if you don't know what they're playing at all, we probably hold on. Let's hold that for a second. You don't have a choice, so yep, you might as well. You have to do it now. Let's go into this, and we'll go ahead and we'll assume, because we're not normal summon, we're gonna go ahead and assume that we're gonna need this level 3, and also the Deer Note triggers. And this is where it becomes like interesting to me, specifically because if you bring back the Foxy tune with the Deer Note, or instead of the Zaman, you're bringing this, and then you go straight into a rank 8. You have to think about your plays closely, because if you go for one line, like you could not bring this back. So let's just show you. So you have options. So if you bring this back, and then you overlay, you go into Hope Harbinger. Cool. And Hope Harbinger, you can place it technically right here. And then, so now you have the option of going ahead and activating Cashier Rebirth, or Birth, and you bring back the Fenrir. Fenrir is going to activate adding another copy of Fenrir. Remember, we have not normal summoned. So we're going to add another Fenrir. Now, if we do this route, we would prefer to grab Ghost Ogre instead. So we're going to grab Ghost Ogre. Okay. So we still have 3 cards in. We'll take these and place them here. And we'll detach, and I'll rip a card from their extra deck. Now, if they would have interacted that entire time while the unicorn was on board, I'll rip one out of the extra deck already. Sometimes some people's extra decks just aren't equipped to outing bigger guys, so you can just get rid of like Collider Heart, get Kalos, and it's really hard for them to out cards. And then you have access to Bell Ogre because you pot up ready to grab this, but like depending on matchup, you could have grabbed Imperm, you could have grabbed whatever, and you have this negate, and then you could have went a different route. So instead of going for that route, depending on which situation you wanted to end in, you could have brought back a instead of bringing back this, and instead of adding this, you could have grabbed Sharkusa, and that will allow you to synchro on your opponent's turn and bounce. So it really just depends on what you feel like they can do. So if you bring back that, and you have this on board still, we still summon this up here. And grab that. We have not normaled, so On their turn, on this turn, we're going to do this. Oh, this would have been on board. Like this is what I was saying. Instead of bringing back to the level 3, it goes like this. You bring back this instead of the Foxy Tune, and you're able to go into Baron. So you have Baron plus or Ching-Ying, depending on the matchup, I guess. And then you have access to going normal. Then on their turn, you can synchro both of these, which is really strong. And you go into the Amazing Dragon. And then this guy bounces up to the number of Psychics engraved. 1, 2, 3. You have 3 Psychics engraved. Bounce 3 cards. They banish one of the cards when they add a monster effect. Negate, negate. So like you have to really think about what you are trying to accomplish when you're trying to build your plays, because that's like a very standard thing the deck's supposed to do. Really good hand, but like in theory you should be able to see that type of thing like at least 2 out of 3 games when you're playing a match. So let me know what you guys think about these plays and this little tutorial at the end, and make sure you're leaving feedback in the comments for what you would do to the deck, because this is some fun stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next video.